Hello, and welcome in to another Hermana to Sister podcast. First, I'd like to say Happy New Year. Wishing you all the best in 2026. Today, we're going to start with our domestic violence series. It's the first episode, and we begin with what is domestic violence? And that's going to be a question that I'd like to ask you. What is domestic violence to you? What do you know about it? What tactics are used? I cannot begin to tell you how many clients are not aware that domestic violence is more than just physical. And I'm referring to victims and to the actual abusers, to the offender, because I've worked with both. And they're pretty shocked. They really are. So awareness begins here and it begins today. And it's a conversation that needs to be talked about. And it's a conversation that needs to be raw and unfiltered. Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered how you even got here? What happened? Who am I? The person you once were, the strong, confident, independent woman, is no longer here. She's gone. And you didn't even realize she was gone. What happened? You've become someone who questions her worth. You've become someone who is totally codependent on your partner. Well, I can tell you, you're not alone. And today we're going to start a conversation. Too many women stay silent about domestic violence. I should start with also saying that domestic violence is something that is learned. Whether we saw it growing up in our homes, between our parents, between our guardians, or we saw it in our communities, in our neighborhoods, we learned it. We learned it. Some of us chose to become offenders, some of us ended up being the victims. That's how we got there. I can remember one woman that once shared with me that her domestic violence, it didn't start with getting slapped or punched. It started with being belittled. It started with being humiliated. It started with severe criticism. She was told she was crazy. She was told nobody would want her. She was told she was worthless. And eventually, after being told over and over and over again, she started to believe it. Then came the physical abuse, the slaps, pushing, the physical hurt. And for many of us, we feel maybe we're just not loving harder. Maybe if we could just love him more. Maybe if we could just teach him how to love, we can change him. We can't change anybody but ourselves. The only people we can change is ourselves and nobody else. So don't stay thinking that all your love is going to be able to change someone. And it's not. Change can only come when the other person is actually willing to accept and ask for change and work on healing his own demons, his own trauma, to become a healthier person. But it has nothing to do with you because it didn't start with you. His soul, his spirituality was already broken before he even got to you. Love should not hurt. Love does not hurt. Love is not pain. Love is not silence. Love doesn't break you down. Maybe that story sounds familiar to you. Maybe as we're talking, you're beginning to identify with it. Maybe it's your story. Maybe it's my story. Or maybe you know someone you love, someone that is real dear to you that is or has gone through it. So what is domestic violence? It isn't just physical. It's emotional. It's mental. It's financial. It's spiritual. Domestic violence overall tears down your well-being. Emotionally, you're heartbroken. You're just broken. Mentally, you're devastated. Spiritually, you're shattered. And financially, even though you work, you might not have anything to show for because you're not allowed to keep your own money. Or maybe you're not even allowed to work. Power and control is used to make another person feel humiliated, small, fearful, and dependent on the abuser. And I want to make it clear that it can happen to anyone. To anyone. Domestic violence doesn't care whether you're wealthy, whether you're in poverty, whether you're a student, whether you are a stay-at-home mom. It doesn't matter if you are what your cultural background is. It doesn't matter how far you came in your educational background. Maybe you didn't finish high school. Maybe you didn't even finish elementary. Maybe you got a BA. Maybe you have a doctorate. Doesn't matter. It does not matter because it can happen to any one of us. The scariest part is that for many of us, we don't even realize we are in an abusive relationship. We don't. Our abusers want us to believe that the abuse hides behind love, it hides behind apologies, it hides behind all the empty promises that are made. And we want to believe. We really want to believe. We feel that we love this person so much that we owe it to them to stay here and fight for them and to change them. What are they going to do if they lose us? They're going to be lost. What are we going to do? We're going to be lost. So we stay. Awareness is the first step to healing. When we can name what is happening to us, when we can say we are in a domestic violence environment, I'm living it. This is what it is. Then I can start healing. You can start healing. You can begin to see what has been done to you. And you can begin to see that and acknowledge that's not who you really are. You are so much more than that. You are so much more than that. So let's talk about the power and control wheel. What is the power and control wheel? Well, it's a tool that's been created to give us an overview of how domestic violence is influenced by power and control, which is what the abuser, the offender, is taking from you. He's taking your power and he's taking your control. But again, many of us have normalized it because that's what we saw as children. We normalized it. And our parents, our guardians, our grandparents, they normalized it because it's what they saw from their parents. And their parents saw it from their parents, and so forth. So it became a generational trauma. Generational trauma. It didn't start with you, but it can end with you. It can end with you. You can be the one to say, enough is enough, and that trauma stops here. That cycle stops here. I'm cutting that cord. So part of the tactics that the power and control wheel shows us is intimidation. How that's used as a way to control. Your partner may break things, um, may look at you with a threatening manner, make you feel unsafe. And not just the adult in this relationship that's the victim, but also the children. always remember that what you're feeling is projected onto those children. They're just as fearful and they're vulnerable, just like we are. So we all walk on eggshells because we are not sure which daddy or which husband or which boyfriend, which partner we're going to get on any given day. Then there's emotional abuse, where they're putting you down, they're calling you names, or they're just making you feel crazy. Just crazy. You're losing it. Isolation is another tactic. They will keep you away from your families, from your friends, from any support you may have. And many times, our friends and family will see what's happening because they're on the outside looking in. And they'll come to us and they'll try to warn us and they'll try to tell us. And we, victims, go back and tell our abusers what our family and friends are concerned about. So what do you think happens next? You're isolated. Your family's trying to come between us. Your friends are trying to come between us. Stay away from them. It's just me and you. It's all you need. All you need is me. You don't need your family. You don't need your friends. And we begin to believe it. So we leave our friends behind. We leave our family behind. We don't want to hear it because my partner's right. My abuser's right. They're trying to come in between my relationship. Then you have minimizing, denying, and blame. And your abuser will say, it's not that bad. I barely hit you. I barely touched you. I didn't push you. I just gave you a little shove. And they start blaming you for it. If you'd had dinner ready by the time that I got home, I would not have become so angry. If you hadn't argued with me, if you hadn't talked back to me, if, it's your fault. They will refuse to take accountability for anything that they do. If you have children, your abuser will start using the children. They'll make you feel guilty about the kids. If you threaten to leave them, they'll say, what about the kids? They could threaten to take the kids away from you, or they can even go a step further than that. They can actually keep the kids away from you, just to teach you a lesson. They can also use the children to send messages to you, to keep you afraid, to keep you isolated, to keep you intimidated. Economic abuse is when the abuser will control money, all the money, where they may keep you from working. You can't work. And if you do work, he may take your money. He may take your earnings. I remember I had one client, and she was not allowed to work. She didn't work. He did. And he would literally give her nickels and dimes to buy groceries. So often the kids would be hungry when they would show up at school. Or he would even take it a step further. He would be at home and he would buy something for himself to eat while the kids and the wife would just look at him eating. He wouldn't share. It was his food. Male privilege is pretty much your machismo, where they act like the boss. They feel they're the boss. They are the boss. And you're only there to serve them and nobody else. That's all you are. Coercion and threats. They use fear to make sure that you stay, that you don't go ask for help, and that yet you continue to do exactly what it is that they want. Each piece of that wheel that we're talking about, the power and control wheel, shows how abuse is not just anger. It's about having complete control over the victim. It's about taking their power. The hope is that once you see those patterns, you can start to break free from them, asking for help, setting yourself free, setting your children free. That's what the hope is. I really want today to be a reflection. If you can safely do so, write down what love means to you. Not what someone told you love is, or what it should be, but what does love mean to you? And look at your relationships, your romantic relationships, your family relationships, your friendships. Do they reflect that kind of love? Are you truly being loved? Do they make you feel safe, valued? Are you free to be yourself? If the answer is no, then that's not love. Love will allow you to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel respected, to feel valued. And it'll allow you to be yourself. It'll allow you to dress however it is you want to dress. It will allow you to work if you choose to. It will allow you to spend your own money. It will allow you to take your own time for self-care, to see your family, to see your friends. Somebody loving will support you in your goals and what your needs are, not tear them down. Awareness is the beginning of a transformation, is the beginning of acknowledging, of seeing things for what they are, not what you've been told they are. If this episode has stirred something in your heart, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. You're not broken. You're not to blame. You're worthy of peace, safety, and love that doesn't. Remember, this is just the beginning of a domestic violence awareness series. Together, we're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about rebuilding. We're going to talk about rediscovering the woman that you truly are within, the strong woman, the confident woman. And until our next episode, please remember, awareness is power. You are beautiful. You are powerful beyond your own measure, woman. Believe it. Believe in yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. And always remember that your past shouldn't dictate your future. Because you, my dear, have a very bright future ahead of you, if you allow it. And with that, I am going to be signing off, sending many blessings in the new year, and I will talk to you again very soon. God bless.